The Joe Rogan Experience.
But then the same guy who commissioned, he was like, okay, give me one for my private collection. And so that's where they would have all the way more explicit stuff.
Oh, yeah. They didn't have pornography back then, so they must have been beating off the paintings and stuff. Yeah. It had to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, it had to be thought of as being arousal-inducing. So much so that, what was it during the Victorian era where they put legs of tables, they would put dresses on them?
Yeah, they would wrap the legs of the tables because, they are legs. And if they are bare, they may give you ideas, which I don't know about you, man, but, look at the leg of the table. That really doesn't do it for me. So
but
the
there had to be
of,
something to it. Where people got so horny.
Right.
That a table leg, smooth skin.
But that's when you know you really have problems, right?
Yeah.
When you look at the leg of a table and you get all excited, it's like, man.
Yeah, that's not good.
No, you may want to revisit your life choices up until that point.
It's fascinating that people must have agreed to that, too. What's up, Jamie?
I just looked it up. It says that it originates from a satire that was written, and people, I guess, took it as truth.
Oh, so it's not real?
Yeah, supposedly not.
But they definitely did cover the legs.
Yeah, I think they did, but the reason why is exaggerated. It says he was poking fun at Americans that did something like that.
Oh, come on, don't spoil the meat. The meat is too cool. That's
prosperous farmhouse parlor in 1900s, and that is it covered. But this is 1900s, right? This is the Victorian era is when they did this.
Oh, wait.
Okay, in 1839, an Englishman wrote a satire of American tour. He wrote an American propensity to use the word limb in place of leg, though he says the English do it too. Then he says that he visited a boarding school, young ladies, New York City. We saw a square pianoforte with 4 limbs. The mistress of the establishment had dressed all these 4 limbs in modest trousers with frills at the bottom of them. He's exaggerating, or not subject, is exaggerating or not subject to speculation. He is certainly poking fun, or whether Marriott is exaggerating or not is subject to speculation. He is certainly poking fun at Americans, but I can attest that having paged through dozens of books showing old black and white piano photos of Victorian interiors, I saw not one example of a table, piano, or any other piece of furniture with skirts around the individual legs. That's interesting.
Boo.
Because I had always heard that.
I like the legend so much better.
Hadn't you always heard that? I had heard that from professors.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought I'd heard it too.
I remember hearing that from a history professor.
I'm all of the, between boring history and a fun legend, always side with a fun legend.
Yeah, I would like to think that people were way more stupid than they were.
Yeah, sometimes.
Makes me feel good about this era.
Exactly.
That we're in now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this, you look at the dresses that people had to wear, that went all the way down to the ground. Mm-hmm. It's not really much different than what we see in the Middle East.
Yep.
It's very simple.
Mm-hmm.
What we see in the Middle East, they have to cover their face, the hijab and the whole deal, and the headscarves, and that's a little more extreme, but not much.
Yeah.
They wore shit that went all the way to the ground. If you showed any ankle, people would lose their mind.
It's an ankle. Oh my
crazy?
God. Yeah. Well, repression does it.
Yeah. I wonder if they were more hypersexualized than we are. I bet not. I bet because of porn, we're probably more hypersexualized, right?
There's, I think, different arguments there, because some people say the more you repress stuff, the more then you're going to obsess with it. So that's all you think about all day.
That's
Whereas
true,
the one that kind of indulge more in it is less likely to obsess. Then again, there are lots of people who are so addicted to internet porn that I don't know if that idea works, but, that's the...
Well, internet porn is the problem with internet porn is the availability.
Mm-hmm.
You don't even have to go somewhere. At least back in the day, when you had VHS tapes or DVDs or something like that, you had to go to a store, you had to buy them, you had to put them into the TV, you had to sit back, you had to get the remote control. There's a process.
There was work involved. Right.
The minorest of minor work.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Now it's just far too easy.
Yeah.
It's how many people that work, that have jobs, go into the bathroom, lock the door, and beat off?
There's
a lot of people listening right now.
We're doing exactly that.
Doing that right now.
Right.
You're beating off right now. Stop it. Go back to work.
Jesus is watching.
That's what I hear. Yeah. It's interesting. I guess if you have to think about it, they were trying to control those people and trying to control their urges because it was beneficial to society. It was beneficial to society that these people needed to do their fair share and get to work, and they couldn't just be staring at legs all day and engaging in impure thoughts.
But that's the problem with any kind of prohibition. It's completely misunderstanding how the human mind works.
Yeah.
Is you do not say no to things as you are not gonna do this. You're guaranteeing that people are gonna obsess with this, right?
It doesn't work. Yeah.
There's there was a Zen story that I heard once that I thought it was hilarious. Can't remember where I heard it, but like guy go to a Zen master saying, "Hey, you recall at peace and happy. I want to be just like you. What do I need to do?" Zen master says, "Okay, just for the next 24 hours, don't think about monkeys." Guy's like, "Monkeys? Never thought about monkeys. How is that gonna make me enlightened?" Zen master's like, "Shut up, go away, come back in 24 hours. Don't think about monkeys." Guy's like, "Okay, well, becoming enlightened is going to be a piece of cake because all I have to do is not think about monkeys." And of course, the next 24 hours become the most monkey-filled hours of his life because that's all he can think about, right? Point being, the more you make something a taboo, the more you guarantee that people are going to obsess with it. You know? It's like, even think like drinking at 21 in US. Right? It's like growing up, I don't even know if there was an age in Italy where you're supposed to not drink, but it's not that glamorous, it's what your grandparents have for lunch. And,
Right.
you are maybe 6-year-old and you want to try a little wine and they give you a tiny bit saying, if you have a little more, you got a headache, so just get it. And then one day you do got a little more, you got a headache, and you go, oh, shit, you are right, okay.
Yeah.
And you kind of learn how to drink rather than being like, oh, we got away, cool, now we got all this booze, and people drink, throw up all over themselves. It's like, that's just gross. Why are you doing that?
Yeah, I think there's definitely a healthier attitudes than Americans' attitudes about alcohol. But also, like, wine is a good way to start. Like, you start off a kid with whiskey.
Yeah, that's not the way to start.
That's too potent.
Yeah.
One of my first times I ever got drunk was on Jack Daniels. And it took years for me to smell Jack Daniels and not want to throw up.
I'm sure.
You get those triggers in your head where you smell it. Like Jägermeister. I used to smell Jägermeister and just be like, "Wah!"
Yep.
Because you just think about just getting violently ill where your body's trying to purge it from your system so you don't die. Yeah, it's to hide it from kids and tell them that it's taboo, but then you drink it, and then they're like, I can't wait until these fucking people can't tell me what to do anymore.
Yep.
Get myself a nice cold glass of whiskey.